and we will start. So hi everyone, welcome to the beginning of our course, Data Engineering Zoomcamp. We're all very excited to have you here, and yeah, this is the plan. So this is what we will talk today about. So first we will talk about the course theme, then we'll talk about the course itself, we'll talk about the prerequisites, the content, then how exactly the course will be organized, how to take part in that. Then we will spend some time talking about our Slack, because most of the interaction will happen there. And then at the end, we will spend time talking about answering your questions. So that's roughly the plan. And we will start with Ankush. So Ankush actually is the one who started the course. So we had a course about machine learning engineering, and then Ankush brought me saying, hey, how about we do a course about data engineering? And this is how it all started. Then he also talked to Sejal, who is another instructor, and then later Victoria joined us. And yeah, thanks to Ankush, we are all here today for the second iteration of the course, and then I will now shut up and let Ankush introduce himself.
And nobody knew how hard it would be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, hello everybody. I am Ankush. I am a staff engineer at Shopify. As you have heard, I am the whole reason this course exists. No, not really. I think it could not be possible without ALEXEY, Victoria, and Sejal. So huge shout out to all of them to really bring this to the position it is right now. I like streaming and batching. So if you have any questions in those domains, I can try and answer them. Most probably they would be wrong, but still I can try. And I would be doing the topic on the stream processing, basically related to Kafka. I just have to say this, that the content is not represented or has any relation to Shopify, either directly or indirectly. So this is my content, and it doesn't represent Shopify at all.
On this exciting note, we go to the next instructor, Sejal. So Sejal got sick, so she is recovering right now, but she unfortunately could not join us. So Sejal she used to be a data engineer. So last year when we had this course, she was actually working as a data engineer, but she switched her career. Now she works as a machine learning engineer at Zalando. But she, of course, knows data engineering very well. And the topic she's interested in, as we see here, platform infrastructure and data ingestion. So this is so she will cover the Terraform part. We still need to, like the content that you saw from the last year, we will probably update it soon. But yeah, so now we go to Victoria.
Hi. So I was an analytics engineer at the time. I was a team leader for a team of analytics engineers at the time. Like we launched this course last year. Since then, I moved to start working at DT Labs as a solutions architect. So now I talk to data engineers, analytics engineers all day. So not a data engineer, but I did cover the analytics engineering part, which is week 4. And yeah, maybe similar to Ankush, I was thinking I should say that I'm like all of the material has been developed before even I joined DT Labs. So yeah, and we will use mostly of that. But yeah, and I'm from Argentina, if people didn't realize yet.
Yeah, you said it like 10 times. Of course,
yeah.
Nobody.
Maybe I come out once or twice.
And that's me. So I'm also not a data engineer. I'm a data scientist. And last year I realized that I like teaching. And when Ankush and I talked about the course, yeah, I thought, why not? And as a data scientist, I use tools like Spark and others that we cover. So I thought, yeah, I would be quite interested in sharing this knowledge too, even though I'm not a data engineer. Yeah, so I'm a data scientist. I like data engineering. I like teaching, and hopefully you will find some of the content useful. And we have new faces in the course team. So we are joined by Khalees and Jeff. So Khalees and Jeff, they are from Prefect. And as you know, we will talk about this later. So this year, we instead of Airflow for the workflow orchestration model, we use Prefect, and we have two people from Prefect who will show us how to use Prefect best. And I think the disclaimer like Ankush and Victoria had does not apply to them because they can actually speak on behalf of Prefect. So yeah, you can. I don't think I will do justice for them if I just read from the slides. So they are both awesome people. And yeah, so many not data engineers. So Jeff is not data engineer either, but as a developer advocated Prefect, he knows Prefect really well, so we can trust him. And then what is also different this year is that we have 3 teaching assistants. So these teaching assistants, they are graduates from the previous cohort, and they will be helping us with organizing the course, homework, answering your questions, and we'll start with Michael. So Michael, please tell us about yourself.
Yes, not a data engineer. I've programmed in Python for 6+ years, the same with SQL. Picked up Spark, Airflow over the years, came across this great course, and it kind of brought everything together. Hung out in the Slack helping students that were struggling, and that's just been a lot of fun. And I look forward to chatting with everyone in the Slack.
So you were helping students even before becoming a teaching assistant. And we thought, okay, who else to ask to actually do this? And so then when the course was over, like we weren't super active answering questions, but when there was a question, you were always there answering it. So thanks a lot for doing that.
Thanks for the course.
Okay, so now next we have Iram. So Iram did not join us. She couldn't join us today. So right now, so she also took the course. She graduated. She did an awesome project, and all of the teaching assistants here did awesome projects. You can see actually her project it was recorded. So, and she chose DataTalksClub Slack data, which was awesome. But yeah, she works currently as a software engineer at Amazon. And hopefully she will join us and she will be able to tell you more about that, because this is I actually would interview. So I don't think I can do justice again to talk about her. And then we have Luis.
Sorry, I was in mute, of course. Oh, I have the biggest, the most beautiful picture actually, as you may see. So I have a mix. I work as a mix as a data engineer and analytics engineer, and I'm going to be a supporting instructor also, more on the Docker, SQL, also a little bit on dbt, and I also did the Zoomcamp 2022. And like Michael said, I also was already doing some support during this phase between the 2022 and this one. So yeah, I just joined now as an assistant.
Some support does not.
And I'm from Portugal. Hola, Portugal.
And yeah, also Buish contributed a lot of content too. Like he was helping in Slack, and then a few videos that you will see later. You will not see because they are from Airflow. But if you watch Airflow videos, you might see Buish there too. These screenshots of his stuff from Slack. Okay, that's the course team. So we are very excited that the team is growing, and it means the course is becoming better and you will have more support. So this is really cool. And now we will talk about the content of the course. So the first thing is you should ask yourself, is this course for me? And some of you probably wonder. So to get the best from this course, you already need to know at least one programming language. Ideally, it's Python. It doesn't have to be Python. Python is relatively easy to pick up if you know some other programming language, like I don't know, Java, Scala, or Ruby, or whatever. But you need to be relatively good at programming. Relatively good, let's say you have 1 year of experience programming. So that's that should be enough for you to take most of the course. Then another prerequisite is being comfortable with command line. So you will see we use command line a lot in the course and things like, I don't know, Git and other stuff. And for you, it might be challenging if this is the first exposure to command line in this course. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't take the course. You just need to expect that it will be quite difficult for you. We had students for who, like, they didn't know how to use command line. I mean, they weren't comfortable with this, yet they finished the course, right? So it shouldn't discourage you, but do expect that it will not be easy if you don't know these things. And then you should also have used SQL. So things like, I don't know, where, group by, and things like that shouldn't be unfamiliar to you. Right? And then you will take most of the course. Of course, you can pick these things as you go, but it will be quite challenged because the course is quite packed with information. And if you need to refresh your SQL or, I don't know, learn how to use command line, you might get a little bit behind. But again, like, the course will be available at a self-paced mode, so don't worry. What is not required is previous experience with data engineering. So we don't expect you to know any data engineering at all to be here. So that's what the course is for, right? To teach you the basics of data engineering. And then I want to quickly go through the course plan, the syllabus. So I have a link here. And yeah, so as you see here, like, we have the syllabus, right? So we have, so this is the course repo. We will talk about each module separately later, but I just want you to get to know this page because we will use it a lot. And then for each module, like, you go to this week, right? And you will see, like, all the materials for the module. And maybe speaking, since I'm in week 1, so for week 1, it was the most challenging week. This is the week you will have now. This is the week that starts now. And the most useful video here is probably this one, setting up the environment on cloud here. So you should check this, even though it's at the end, you should check it. And Luis also recorded a video, like, of the walkthrough of the first week in Windows subsystem for Linux, right? We still need to add a link here. But yeah, we will add it here because on Windows, many people had problems. And that's why, yeah, we have it here, or we will have it here. And then, yeah, you follow the same approach. So for each week, you go inside here, you click, and then you go through the content there. And then we will also have a link to homework, which we still need to add. You also see that we have notes from the previous year. So many students of the previous year took notes, and many students found them very useful, especially these notes from Alvaro, but there are others also very good. So do use them. And yeah, so we will go next. I just wanted to show you this repo. And now I see that it's already 1,000 people who are watching us here. So hi, everyone. And I wanted to ask everyone who is watching this stream right now to take your time and go to the course Git repo and give us a star. Because if every one of you right now give us a star, then we will get into the GitHub trending. And it means that more people will see us, more people will join us, more people will learn from us. So please help us. I will put the link right now in the live chat. Oops. Yeah, but you probably know how to find it already. But just in case, I will put it to the live chat. Yes, please go there, give us a star. It will immensely help us to spread the word about the course. Okay. So take a sip of water while you're giving us a star. So thanks a lot for doing that. And it means a lot. So thanks for doing that. So during the course, we will use data from New York City. It's taxi and limousine commission data. So this is the data about taxi trips in New York City. So you can learn more about this data set here. I think there is somewhere a link to that in our course repo. So you can take a look at the data here. And one thing that happened last year, so last year we had CSV data here. But after the course finished, they replaced all the CSV data with Parquet data. But our videos all assume that there is CSV data. So what we did is we had a backup, and we will use, for this course, we will actually use this backup. So in the videos, you will see that we go to this New York City Tax and Limousine Commission website, we download the data. But what you should do instead is go to this page, to this GitHub repo. So it's in NYC TLC data, and you will see all the CSV data here. And all this data is easily downloadable with wget and other things. And for example, if you need yellow taxi data, so you click here, and then you find the year and month that you need. So you right-click, copy link address, and then you can use things like wget. I can show you wget this thing, and it will download. Okay, I don't know why it was redirected, right? So now it's downloading. So we will need to use this data because this data uses Parquet. And one of the videos we show how to get the CSV and convert it to Parquet. So yeah, please use that. And this is a general course overview, what we want to do here. So we'll get this taxi data, then we will transform this data, and we will put this data to Google Cloud Storage, which we call a data lake. You will later see what data lake is. And then from this data lake, we will put this data to a data warehouse. You will also see what the data warehouse is in week 3, I think. So data warehouse in our case is BigQuery. Once the data is there in BigQuery, you will see how to use dbt to transform this data, create different, like transform the data, put it in a different form. And then finally, we will also talk about Spark, like how we can use Spark for doing a similar thing, taking data from the data lake, transforming it. And also at the very end, we will talk about streaming. So we'll talk about Kafka. So that's roughly it. So you can stare at this diagram in the repo. I don't know, am I missing anything? Ankush, Victoria, you want to add anything here? No? And yeah, I was lazy to redo this diagram. So like it's an icon of Airflow, but you can see that now it's no longer Airflow. Yeah, so now we'll talk about the course, each of the modules. And I will probably start with the first one. So in the first one, actually it says week 1, but I think we ended up in the last course, we ended up spending 2 weeks on that because it was more difficult than we anticipated. So for this time, we will also spend 2 weeks. So even though it says week 1, in reality, it's 2 weeks. So during these 2 weeks, you will need to set up your environment. You will need to create a Google Cloud account. You will need to install Docker. You will need to install Terraform and all that. And then once you prepare the environment, you will need to use Docker to run Postgres and take this data from the New York City taxi and then upload this data to a locally running Postgres. And then once we do this, at the end, we'll also do a bit of SQL refreshment. We will remind you about the basics of SQL. And yeah, we will also see how to use Terraform for setting up some things in the Google Cloud platform. Yeah, so that's the plan for the first week. So it's kind of an introduction, we thought, but it turned out to be quite difficult. So we will give you more time, but don't slack. Start now. Don't wait with setting up everything till the last minute. And then after we do this, we will see. So in the first week, we will see how to create a simple Python script for downloading the data and inserting it to Postgres. But then in week 2, we'll see how to use special tools for doing this. They are called workflow orchestrators, and Prefect is one of such tools. We'll see how to use them to actually make our data pipelines more reliable. Right? And then we will make it more complex. We will see how to upload this data to Google Cloud Platform, Google Cloud Storage, then how to put this to BigQuery and all that. So we'll learn this in week 2, and then in week 3, maybe Ankush will tell us what we will cover.
Yeah, so in week 3, we are going to take a look at what is a data warehouse. We are going to use BigQuery as the data warehouse because BigQuery is easily available in Google Cloud Platform, and it's also a pretty nice data warehouse tool. So in detail, we are going to learn a bit about what is partitioning, what is clustering, what are the best practices, and how can we use Prefect to build some orchestration around BigQuery.
Actually, this part it's already in week 2. So Jeff recorded this as a part of week 2, but then he said you will learn more about data warehouse in week 3. But here we'll just show you how to do this. So don't get scared when you see this. There is nothing scary, and you will learn more about the details in week 3. And then in week 4 we'll learn about analytics engineering.
Yeah, so in week 4, we're going to talk a little bit. I said there's no there, but there's a small intro as well about what is data modeling. We talk a little bit about the star schema, so the very basics for those that are not familiar with that. And then we start introducing DBT. So what is it? And then we go over a project on top of the tax data that you already ingested and having those S3 buckets. So now we'll have it in BigQuery and we'll model and make some daemon fact tables out of it. And we'll see some of the basics of DBT. And at the end, we're going to build a dashboard in Google Data Studio. So that way you have the data from the very end to the end, the start to the end, and Metabase for those that are following in a local installation instead.
Thank you, Victoria. And then week 5 will be about batch processing. And we will use Spark for that. So we will take data that is stored in Google Cloud Storage, and we'll use Spark for processing this data and doing a thing that is fairly similar to what DBT is doing, but the focus there is a little bit different. And I think last year we actually spent some time during office hours discussing when to use DBT, when Spark. I don't remember what was there exactly, so I'll probably need to refresh that in my mind. But yeah, probably by week 5, you will have this question, when to use what, and we'll try to answer that. Maybe it's even in the videos. But yeah, in week 5, we will talk about Spark. And in week 6, we'll talk about streaming and Kafka.
Yeah, so week 6 will be stream processing. This week would be a bit different than your previous weeks. The reason is that obviously we are going to go away from the batch world to a more streaming world, but also I'm using Java this time to explain. I'm redoing all the videos from last time, and we will be using Java mostly. But no worries, if you are in Python, we will have, in the end, we will have some videos which will focus on PySpark. So it will be Spark, Python, stream processing. And I think that's a good thing to learn because stream processing with Spark is really in these days. And if you learn that, that is obviously an advantage. But for the basics, for covering the internals of Kafka streams, for understanding the basics, I will be using Java, but I will be explaining each part of the code. So you don't have to really worry about it. The code will be available in the GitHub repo, so you can just run it by changing a few internal parameters. And we will also be using Confluent Cloud this time. So it would be even better to know Docker setup for Kafka. You can just play and plug with the Confluent Cloud platform.
And then the most exciting part is project. So during these 6 weeks, it's actually 7, right? Because the first week is kind of 2 weeks. Then you will need to put everything you learn in practice. And I don't know if I have a slide here. No, I don't. So there, for the project, the idea would be that you need to develop a dashboard, and dashboard will be your end result. And in order for data to come from like a raw source to a dashboard, you will need to do pretty much everything that we covered in the course, which means putting data in a data lake and a data warehouse, transforming it with I don't know, DBT or Spark or some other tool, and I'm using an orchestrator, or alternatively, you can use a streaming tool. You will learn more about that later, but here the idea is that At the end, you don't just watch the videos that we prepared. You also will have to do something. And the project runs for 2 weeks, I think. So you will have 2 weeks to complete the project, and then the third week will be peer reviewing. I don't know if there are actually. Yeah, I think we will talk about that. And last time we had 2 projects. So if you don't have time, or if you didn't manage to finish your project during the first project run, you will have another chance. So we'll have 2 projects, and you can decide if you want to submit your project as a part of the first project, or as a part of the second project. Yeah, you will know about this later. Okay, now we'll talk about organizational details. So all the lessons are pre-recorded, as you saw, and they are already on our YouTube channel. Every Monday we will have office hours. So right now we do this at 6 p.m. Central European Time, and Ankush asked if we can do this every Monday, right? So maybe we can actually do this every Monday on 6 p.m., but we will see. But yeah, this is the slides from the last time. So last time we did it at 5, but if we will change it, we will inform you, of course. And during office hours, we will be there to answer your questions. So homework solutions, at the end, we actually didn't do this. So we recorded homework solutions separately. That was a bit easier. And we just spent this time answering your questions. And for the project, I think I already told you that for the project, you work on this for 2 weeks. And then the third week is for reviewing your peers. And if you want to find the materials, I already showed you how to do this in the GitHub repo, right? But you can also go to our YouTube channel, and you are interested in this Data Engineering Zoomcamp playlist. You see that there are also 2 others, like Data Engineering Zoomcamp 2022. This will be quite a useful playlist for you too. So it contains the office hours, homework solutions from the previous cohort, as well as the Airflow videos. So if you want to learn Airflow too, you go to this channel, you go to this playlist. So all the videos, all the Airflow videos stay there. We're not going to remove them because we think they're pretty useful. Yeah, and if you want to learn Airflow, and if you want to use Airflow for your project, you're welcome to do that, and you will find the videos with Airflow here. And then for this 2023, so probably maybe it wasn't a good idea to put the videos with Prefect there because they are already here. Mostly what we will do here is we will keep all the office hours there, like all these streams with questions. We will put homework solutions there. Maybe some other things like project demos, for example. Yeah, a few more things. So we will have a certificate at the end, and you will get the certificate if you pass the project. So we don't care if you did homework or you didn't, what was your score for the homework, if you watched the lectures or not. What matters at the end if you did the project. So we'll make our decision to give you a certificate or not based on the on how well you did on your project. And if you did well, you will receive a certificate. But then to keep you motivated to actually go through the course and watch the videos, do homework, we will have a leaderboard. So a leaderboard looks like that. I will show you an example from a different course. So this is our machine learning engineering course. And the leaderboard looks like that. So you have, like there is a hash of your email, right? And then you see how many scores you got for each homework, for each project, and then at the end there is total. And so that's, you will have some points here, right? And then at the end, the idea, we unfortunately didn't do this for the last Data Engineering Zoomcamp. We did it for Machine Learning Zoomcamp. So we will have, I'll show you. So we will have like a top 100 graduates based on this course. So it will look like, let's find it. Yeah, so it will look like that. Only if you want, you can submit your details about you, like LinkedIn, GitHub profile, and so on. And yeah, so you will be forever known and remembered here as a top 100 participant of data engineering Zoomcamp. So that's to give you a little bit more motivation to actually go through the course and not just do a project at the end. And yeah, one thing that many people hate and many people like, and this is like a special feature of this course, is giving scores for learning in public. And what learning in public means is you don't just watch courses, you tell everyone in the world that you're doing this, that it shows your commitment and it also gives you extra exposure. And I have a few examples here. So learning in public typically what it means is just sharing your course project with your network on LinkedIn, Twitter, I don't know, Instagram, whatever, and then also writing blog posts. And this is how it looks like. So I didn't ask this person for permission. That's why I kind of hide it, the name. But this is how a typical learning in public post looked like. Sometimes it included links, sometimes it did not. But the idea there was to just tell everyone that you're doing this course and this is what you learned. There are many ways you can express this. And if you just look up this hashtag, DE-Zoomcamp, you will see a lot of examples from Twitter, LinkedIn. When you do this, you will get extra points for the leaderboard too. And now, so when you submit your homework, this is a screenshot from another course, but when you submit your homework, you will get a field like that, where you just take your post, your LinkedIn post, your Twitter post, you copy the URL, you put it here, and then you can put at most up to 7 URLs there. So if you put more, we will not give you more points. And now I want you to read this message from Michael. So this is just to explain why you should do this. And I'll give you, I don't know, 1 minute, maybe more. Please read it, and I hope it will convince you to actually do this. I don't know if everyone has finished reading or not, but yeah, and you probably know Michael, one of the teaching assistants. So thanks for sharing this story, and I hope it will motivate everyone here to not discard this idea, give it a try and see what happens. There are also many reasons why you should do this. I think there is a good post. If you just go to Google or your favorite search engine and you write learning in public, you will see many resources that will convince you that it's actually a very good idea. Okay, so I don't know what is here. Maybe DataTalksClub Slack. Yeah. Okay, so now I just wanted to give you a tour in Slack. So for these reasons, I use a different browser. Yeah, this one, Edge. So here I'm from my fake account. And yeah, so in order to get to Slack, if you haven't, you need to go to DataTalksClub, and you put your email address here. You click join, and then you will join. You will join our Slack. So this is the usual way. So once you're in Slack, you will see something like that. You'll probably not see this channel. So you will see these channels only. So these are the default channels. And as you can see, there is no channel for data engineering Zoomcamp. It's not a default channel. You need to find it. And before I show you how to do this, please don't use general for asking course questions. It's very difficult to moderate. So what I usually do is I just delete these questions. So I will do this too. So if you ask a question in general, I warned you, don't. I will delete them. The right place to ask questions about the course is the data engineering course channel. And I will show you how to find it right now. So you will go, let me repeat it one more time. So you click here, plus browse channels. and then you type course data engineering. Good. And this is the channel, and you just click join. And now, so first, let's say if you want to ask a question, the first thing you should do is you should notice that there is this little icon, right? So this is a very important link because it contains answers to everything, most likely. It's very unlikely that your question is not there. So you should go there first before you ask a question, and you should check it. So, and then, and then, yeah, you just try to find your question here. And so if it's a general question, you find it in this section. If it's a question about week 1, you find it here, and so on. I think it's a pretty straightforward document, hopefully. And then if it's very unlikely, but maybe you will not find an answer to your question here, then what you do is you go to this channel and you ask your question there. Please don't tag, yeah, hi everyone. Please don't tag instructors. Please don't tag the course team. We will see your question eventually, so please be patient. And yeah, please don't go crazy with all these questions, all these messages, right? Because it will make it a little bit difficult. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. Then you ask your question here. Don't tag the course team. We'll see your question. We'll answer your question. Don't worry. Yeah. So what else did I want to say? That's pretty much it. Maybe one more thing. So we have, for our community in general, we have guidelines. So these are our guidelines. I will show you how to actually find it in the course. I use Bing now. Okay. So here there is this document which is called Asking Questions. So it tells you how you should ask questions. So I already talked about frequently asked questions, then and other things we ask you to do. So for example, do not tag the course team, do not take pictures of your code with your phone, do not make screenshots, they are difficult to read. So please follow these suggestions in order to help you. So it will help, it will help us help you easier, right? And then one more thing, we have general community guidelines. So please go through this for the code of conduct, channels, how to take part in discussions, and so on. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to talk about Slack. But DataTalksClub is not just Slack, it's more. And you probably can find other activities that we have in our this awesome webpage. So we have events, we have a podcast. So events, like you can see all the events we have. So they are not necessarily related to the course, but in general, in this community, we like all data-related things, like data engineering, machine learning engineering, data science, sometimes analytics and career-related stuff. And events are usually around that. For example, one thing that could be interesting for you, I don't know if you are into machine learning, but if you are, so for example, we'll have a workshop about GitOps for machine learning. I think it's a pretty nice one. And yeah, if you want to find other courses, so we have 2 more courses. So one is Machine Learning ML Ops Zoomcamp. This is the course. So you will find it in our GitHub. And by the way, don't forget to give us stars. Right? So if you haven't, please go there and give us a star. But yeah, so there is this ML Ops Zoomcamp, which is a course about ML Ops. And then we have ML Zoomcamp, which is a course about machine learning engineering. So we have 2 more courses. Okay, now I will go back to Chrome, if I can. Yeah. Did I miss anything before I go to the next slide, or I can continue? Because it feels like I'm just talking and everyone's sitting there. I hope it's not too boring for you. You will get a chance.
I think one thing you missed was what is office hours and what is office hours for?
Right. Did I miss it? So office hours is the time when you can ask anything about the course. So we will be there. It's a live stream. You will get a chance to ask your questions. Yeah, that's mainly it, right? So if you have any questions, we will answer your questions live. Right, Ankush? Or there is more to office course?
Yeah, that's about it. And I think we will give you a link in the live chat. So there you can upvote and downvote different questions. So we will pick up the most upvoted questions.
Mm-hmm. And then last section before we go to questions is, so as you know, we replace Airflow with Prefect. And Prefect is so nice. Not only it's a nice tool, but they are generous enough to support our course and our community, and I want to thank them. It's actually the second course they're supporting. So we previously had MLOps Zoomcamp with them, and they like the results. We like the results a lot. So it's like a match made in heaven. So luckily for us, we continued our partnership, and I want to thank Prefect for supporting us. And if you want to thank Prefect too, what you can do is you can just go to their GitHub, and they will be super happy if you give them a star. So I already did. Wow, they have so many stars. But yeah, they will not mind if they get more. So it's a simple thing that you can do to thank them, because they help to keep our community running. And if you want to thank me personally, so I have a GitHub sponsor page. I have like 7 supporters. So big heart to you. Thanks for supporting me. So if anyone feels like they want to give me $5 for a coffee, that's the best way to do this. And I think that's it. So now we will move to your questions. So I shared the link should be in the live chat. So you should be able to see it here. It's pinned here, right here. So just click on this link and you can ask your questions. I don't know why it's not important. So I saw in the live chat that many people asked about the difference Airflow and Prefect. So probably it's also one of the questions we will see now in Slido. So let's find it. Okay, yeah, indeed. Bram is asking about Prefect. Is Prefect sponsoring the course in favor or showing of their tech? I don't think I understand the question, but I'll tell you a story. So last year, when we ran a data engineering Zoomcamp, we used Airflow, and Airflow was quite problematic. So Airflow was very difficult to set up locally. So we thought it's easy, right? So it was in Docker. It had a Docker Compose file. We thought like all you need to run is just Docker Compose up, and everything will work fine. It was very naive of us to assume that, right? So it was it gave many people a lot of problems. While in MLOps Zoomcamp, we used Prefect from the start, so we didn't consider using Airflow, and it was a lot smoother. So that's why we thought that for teaching the course, Prefect will be easier to get started because it's a more lightweight thing. Yeah, you should also think about like Prefect is a nice tool. It's a really cool tool. I'm a big fan of Prefect. But also Airflow is probably more popular, right? So that's why we don't remove Airflow videos altogether. So they are optional, and we still encourage you to try them too. But yeah, if you first walk through the Prefect video, I think it will be a lot easier for you to start with Airflow. Because concepts, like it's more lightweight, the code is less verbose there, it's easier to get started. And once you get up to speed with Prefect, then Airflow will be easier. Yeah, I think I answered that. There was also somebody shared a report in the data engineering course channel. The report was from AI Infrastructure Alliance, I think, and they also say why Prefect is why people like it more than Airflow. So maybe find it. Okay, what's the expected hours per week commitment required to complete this course satisfactorily for a beginner and practitioner data engineer? So I'll probably ask Wish or Michael to answer this question because they actually did this.
I think that would.
Yeah, so Michael.
Oh, sorry. I think that would heavily depend on how much experience you have with Python, SQL, GCP. If I remember correctly, I think I probably did about 6 hours a week. But also, if you want to have the material really sink in, you'll go through it 2 or 3 times. So it really depends on the student and the week. Some will require more time, but I think if you manage your time well, the time commitment can be pretty small.
Yeah, like Michael said, I think also depends a little bit on the issue of the team that you're talking. For example, on SQL, I am already completely advanced, so I didn't took many time with that, so it was really fast. But for example, for Docker, I was completely beginner, so it was harder. Besides, there's that thing that the leaderboard, and if you want to be on the top and you want to be the leaderboard because, well, it matters for you, then probably you'll take more than that 6 hours. But I think 6 to 5 hours per week, it's the expected.
So I saw like a similar question was asked on Reddit, and many people said that they were putting up to 10 hours. So especially in the first week, the Docker week was the most challenging, and then the Airflow week. So Airflow, and again, the problem there was mostly setting up Airflow. So this is where people spent a lot of time. And for example, BigQuery week was relatively easy because it's a managed service. You just go to Google Cloud Platform, and like you don't need to set up anything locally. It's easier. Luis, Michael, what was? Do you remember what was the most difficult weeks for you? Was it the Docker and Terraform weeks or some others?
Oh, definitely. The first week was the most difficult, definitely. Yeah, but actually, I must admit that I didn't do your week of Kafka. I'm sorry, but I was completely with lot of works, and I skipped the streaming week.
Yeah, we need to move the streaming week to week 2.
Yeah, it was too hard for me.
But it's actually a good point, right? So you don't. Many people were asking me like, "Hey, I don't want to study DBT. I'm interested in Spark." Yeah, like just go ahead and skip it. We're not forcing you to study DBT. If all you're interested in is streaming, go ahead and watch the streaming lectures, right? They're already there. And then at the end, you just use the tech you want in your project, and you don't use the tech you don't want. Right? So you have this freedom, you have this flexibility.
I think, I don't know if someone asked already, but one thing that is important, it's that the project, you don't need to do all the things of all the weeks. Don't, oh, I have to have streaming, I have to have perfect, I have to have, no, you don't have to do all, just some topics off.
Okay, so I think this one.
Just remember.
No,
just remember, if you want to get on the leaderboard, you might need to do every week.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we will see any fundamental topics like database design, schemas, etc. I think Victoria covers a little bit of that, right?
Briefly, yes. And Ankush, I believe like there was an intro in week 3. So like you start a little bit with data warehouse, and then what we do with DBT is like we use that schema, and we talk a little bit about data modeling design. Like this, we talk specifically about the star schema and Kimball methodology.
Yeah, we wanted to make this course more practical.
Yeah.
So this is like more theoretical topic, and I think there are good resources where you can pick this up. So we did not aim to replace these resources. We wanted to give you something that is very, very hands-on?
I think it's still in the. Is it in the document with the questions, or I wonder if we could do that again? We had prepared a list last year with some books and stuff like that, so we could definitely as well share that to make sure
Yeah,
that.
I think the list was awesome data engineering. I will look at it.
Yes, we have the awesome data engineering. It's bookmarked in the channel, so in there, that's amazing list of resources. And you have a lot.
This is it, right? So let's see if we have
And there
anything.
we have them in there. I saw it. Books.
We have it. Okay.
In the first page, I believe, or the page before this one. There, books. Yeah, design and data intensive application. There was another one. Introduction to data engineering. There was another one from data engineering. I think that. There was.
Yeah, we need to include that. So I'll send the link here. And we probably need to put it to, like, the idea there was to put it to GitHub, like do something like awesome data engineering GitHub repo, which is like there are maybe 10 already. It will be 11.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be a more unique name. But yeah. And I don't see this actually like Kimball and other stuff.
No, but I can add that part.
Yeah, please. Or maybe like we can even have a separate section, which we can call like, I don't know, database design or something.
Yeah.
And put it there. Okay, so what's next? Is the data engineering Zoomcamp playlist YouTube complete, or can we expect some new videos to be added? It's more or less complete. So there is one thing we wanted to update, which are the Terraform videos. Sejal unfortunately got sick, so there is, if you don't know, in Europe there was like a big, like many people got sick of flu. I was also one of them. So in Sejal, she got it a bit late than others, so she's unfortunately now. Well, she's recovering, but yeah, we will have some videos from her there. But fundamentally, not much will change. So there are videos from her from last year, but in that videos, we, like, the code is already written. Not everyone liked this approach, so we want to redo this, and you will see these videos soon. So right now we have the old material, but I think that's the only change we still want to do. Maybe there will be, so depending on the problems you have right now, we will see. This is what we did last time. We saw the problems many students had, and we recorded some videos to answer these problems.
Just wanted to add that I'm doing some more videos on Kafka. So the current playlist is not complete on Kafka, and I would be adding at least 3-4 more videos afterwards.
Anyone else is working on more videos right now?
I was planning to do something like what changed in the last year for DBT. Like now you can do Python as well in there, but now update the project.
So probably, Victoria, you can take the next one, right?
How does BigQuery compare to something like Snowflake? I think it's worth also to put it together with GCP is great. Why is it chosen as a cloud data platform? And I saw that a lot of people were also talking about AWS and things like that. And there's even a channel of people that want to use a Snowflake instead of GCP. So the main reason why we chose GCP is because it has a very generous free tier that's $300. In the case of a Snowflake, that is, for example, limited to 1 month. In the case of GCP, it's like until you finish it, and you can use the buckets, and you can use, like last year, a lot of people use the virtual machines, and you can use BigQuery. So, and it will cover all of that, and you won't expense anything from your money, which is the idea of the course. So that's why we chose BigQuery. But the main goal that we have here is that you can apply the knowledge of a cloud data warehouse to any cloud data warehouse. The same with Prefect, you can also apply it to Airflow if you start working at a company that they use Airflow, because at the end of the day, you should know how a cloud data warehouse and data warehousing works. In the case of specifics to BigQuery, to something like Snowflake, both are cloud data warehouse. From my experience, they So BigQuery has a different way of connecting. So it goes through an API, where in Snowflake you use the more normal like SQL or like well-known SQL. They both have their flavors of SQL. BigQuery also has differences, like they call databases projects, and they call schemas data sets and things like that. So it changes terminology. And they have a different approach on cost as well. So something like select start limit 10 from a BigQuery table can cost you a lot of money. But they tell you before that how many scans how many bytes they'll scan and things like that. So is this the smaller things, I would say. Ankush, you're also very familiar with BigQuery. I've used always more Snowflake or Redshift, or Microsoft. So maybe Ankush.
Yeah, I think the biggest reason for choosing BigQuery was that it just comes with Google Cloud Platform and it's free to use. So that's one thing. And I think overall, Snowflake is generally more expensive than BigQuery, at least in my experience. But the concepts are super similar. So if you look at BigQuery optimizations, it's the same concepts in Snowflake. So the concepts are, as Victoria said, applicable to both the data warehouse solutions. And it's just a flavor which we chose just because it's easy to have something like a inbuilt data warehouse rather than actually starting something on your own. So this was one of the big reasons for choosing BigQuery.
And I think I can. Oh, where did it go?
Yeah, that one. Oh, okay. It will come back.
I just marked it as solved because I think, Victoria, you answered it. I don't know. Do we want to say anything like why we? Because I think we covered it pretty well, right? So you're free to use AWS too if you want. I think there is also a channel where people want to use AWS for the course. We unfortunately will not be able to give you a lot of support there because, like, I don't know, dbt, for example, I don't know how well it can connect to Redshift or Athena or whatever. But yeah. Yep.
Sorry, Alex, someone is saying on the chat, and I think I was misunderstood. It's saying 300 is not a small amount. That's the amount of credits you get for free. Like you will not pay 300. The idea is like we chose GCP, so you don't pay anything. You don't pay anything.
Yes, that's the main advantage, right? So what you need is a Google account. You use it for registering at Google Cloud Platform. They will ask you for a credit card, but only to verify that you are like a real human, right? And this card is not used for a different Google Cloud Platform account. They will not charge you anything. And to me, Google is a trustworthy thing, so you can trust it with your credit card. I mean, so far they didn't violate the trust I have in them. So yeah, it's a good deal, basically. You should take it. And with AWS, most of the content we talk about, like most of the things you learn here about Google Cloud Platform, are easily transferable to AWS. Like all these virtual machines, like Google, like this object storage, I don't know, Spark, to like all these things, they work fine in AWS. It's just the buttons you need to click are different, or Terraform script you need to write is different. But then at the end, most of the concepts are still the same. Just need to map from Google Cloud Platform concept to AWS Cloud concept. But yeah, with AWS, you need to pay something. I don't know. Does anyone want to add anything, or I can go to the next one?
No, we're also, if we're conscious of time.
Yeah. I mean, I can stay longer. I don't know if you need to go now. So if
No, I'm good. I'm good to stay, but just saying.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's been already 1 hour. So, but I'm happy to stay. It's always like the call with more
because
questions.
we have 137 questions, so we're not going to answer all of them. Sorry, that's just too many. But I'm very happy to see such an engagement.
But there are many that are more or less the same, so I feel like we'll be able to get faster eventually.
So let's go quickly for them, right? So how can we submit homeworks? You will see links soon. So I think we already have the first homework. We just need to put it to GitHub, and then we will communicate everything in Telegram, and then Automator will post the link from Telegram to Slack, so you will see it if you're in Slack or Telegram. That's a very difficult question. What is the job market like in 2023? I don't know if I should attempt in doing any forecasting. Anyone wants
answer
to?
that question?
Yeah, please.
I can answer because, well, from my, I don't know if I can, Alex, may I say? May I
Yes,
say?
of course. I mean,
Okay, so I left my previous company in the last week of the year, and I already am in lots of process, including in final process of data engineering, to be a data engineer. And well, today it's 16th of January. So yeah, the market is completely unbalanced, for good for us. So
so there is hope that even though there is recession, there are layoffs, but still it's not difficult to find a job. That's what you're saying.
exactly, completely. Lots, and actually the pandemic was a good thing for us in IT, because a lot of companies are recruiting remote, so you don't even need to go to United States to work for that company or other similar.
Mm-hmm. So let's say we take 5 more minutes to answer as many questions as we can, right? And then, and then I think we should stop. What aspects of real-world data engineering are covered in this course along with projects? And pretty much every week is real-world data engineering, so I don't think we should spend much time answering this. How much of an effort would it be to use AWS instead of GCP for assignments? Probably more than you want to put there. I mean, if you have time, why not? But we will not be able to support you. So, but yeah, I struggle to come up with an estimate. Does anyone have an estimate here on this call?
I think the hardest part is like, you shouldn't be a data engineer, so you shouldn't have this knowledge that we're teaching. And then you don't have the knowledge, you're trying to learn it, and then everything is showing you something else. And then on top of that, you want to learn something new on your own that you won't have support. So that's going to be really hard. And if you really want AWS, because at your work they use AWS, they're going to help you with that one. So it's probably not going to be worth, and it's going to be very, very stressful. I would add at least 2 hours on top of the normal hours.
Okay, thank you. How powerful should your local machine be? I think like 16 gigs of RAM should be sufficient. But again, this year we are not doing Airflow. So Airflow was the most problematic week when it came to local machines, right? So when we tried to run Airflow in Docker, so my computer was basically heating up and was going to fly away on the fence. So it was like too much. And then at the end, I did most of the stuff in a remote virtual machine. And this is what you should do to a remote virtual machine, because again, you have these 300 credits. But yeah, 16 gigs should be enough. 8 gigs will not be enough. Anyone wants to add anything? Or just move on?
But just in case they didn't catch that, so if you don't have enough RAM or CPU, you can just start from the beginning in a virtual machine in GCP. You've got more than enough credits to make it through the course and be running that machine from the start.
Yeah, that's the best thing. And then if everyone has the same platform, same operating system, which is Ubuntu, then it just makes it a lot easier to help you. Right? So you say, okay, I'm using this virtual machine, it's Ubuntu, and this is the problem I have. And then anyone can reproduce this problem, hopefully. Right? While it's if you're running this on Windows or macOS, then everyone has a slightly different version of Windows, and then sometimes it's just impossible to reproduce the error. So the link will be fixed as soon as we update, as we publish the first homework. So we will make the announcement. How does the peer review work? So you finish your projects, and then after that, you get to review 3 projects of your peers, and then there will be a set of criteria. Sorry, just trying to find data engineering Zoomcamp. So it should be here in the project section. Yeah, there are criteria here. So you will need to follow this criteria to evaluate. That's how it works roughly. Yeah, thanks a lot. I don't know, does anyone want to answer this one? Ankush, maybe?
I can try. Yeah, so how much hands-on expertise does the data engineer need in DevOps? Are you a big company which has a lot of DevOps, DataOps? Then none. Then you don't need much. But if you're working in a startup, I would say some DevOps knowledge is Terraform, Docker, how to fix Docker issues, how to go inside Docker and see what's going on, logs would be helpful in general. Even if you are a backend developer or a software developer, these knowledge would be valuable in any case. But yeah, if you have, or you are working in a very big company where there are thousands of developers with this kind of experience, then maybe you can rely on them more.
Yeah,
Anybody wants to add something?
I think in companies like Zalando or for example, ALEXEY where I work, there is already a data platform. So if I need to schedule a SQL query, I don't need to do much. So I just write the SQL query, commit it to Git, and then it just works. Right? So I don't need to do any Docker, Terraform, or anything. I'm not a data engineer, but this is how it works. Okay, maybe let's answer this one too. Google considers MLOps as a part of data engineering. What do you think about this? Does anyone think anything about that?
I think that goes a little bit to the fact that almost none of us, but Ankush, is a data engineer. We're all capable, or we think we're capable of teaching something that's relevant to data engineers. And it's because every company has their own world or roles, and they set it differently. So, I mean, Ankush, you can even share that at a company you work with DBT, and then at another company that was being done by someone else, right?
Yeah, exactly. Completely different there. Data engineering in its own self has become a very gray area. Honestly, there is a lot of data ops also there. There's a lot of ML ops there. ML engineering is also considered somehow data engineering. So the only thing left is data science, and I'm pretty sure that will also come the domain of data engineering sooner or later. But this is very specific to Google or very specific to a company you're working for. As Victoria said, I've worked in a company where data engineers do mostly SQL and DBT. There are companies where data engineers are supposed to do MLOps, data ops, and data engineering. And obviously, there are others which just focus on data engineering and classify them as streaming data engineers and batch data engineers. So it's really very specific to the company you are talking about.
Maybe let's take these two ones and then stop. So I really like this question because this question comes up a lot. And the question is it possible to apply to jobs after the course? It's possible to apply to jobs right now. You don't have to take the course. Just start applying. Like, why do you need to take the course to start applying, right? It's possible to do it like it was possible to do it last year, right? So nobody stops you from doing this. But this course will give you some knowledge and a project in your portfolio that will be helpful in your job search. But I would encourage you to start applying to jobs right now to see what they actually want from you, like what kind of topics they come up, what kind of test assignments you get, So you don't wait till the course finishes to start doing this. You can already learn a lot about the job market in your area or in the, I don't know, in the domain where you want to work. So does anyone want to add anything to that?
I just want to add that when I did the 2022 cohort, I was in another company, and the process of data engineering on that company was really similar to the Zoomcamp. So what I started to notice was that mostly the companies use this architecture on data engineering. So it's good for you to show up yourself, that you are starting to understand all this data engineering stuff. I think it's important.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I don't know about applying for jobs, but once you have a job, if you want to get an increment, contact Michael.
Michael Moneymaker.
And I wanted to answer quickly this one. So it's Google Cloud Platform is not mandatory. You can do most of the course without a cloud. So you will not be able to use BigQuery, obviously, because it's a cloud offering, but you can use local Postgres instead of that. And I think almost everything you can run almost everything locally. Right? So for example, for streaming, instead of using Confluent Cloud, you can use Kafka. You can set it up locally, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we also provide the Docker images for everything, but the videos will be more on Confluent Cloud. But you can always change that.
Yeah. So I know that there are people from Nigeria, Iran, Russia who cannot register in Google Cloud Platform. You can do things locally. So I think that's all we have time today. We'll try to see how to answer the remaining questions, maybe cluster them a little bit and see. I think for the last course for ML Zoomcamp, I just recorded a super quick video answering them, at least some of them. So maybe I can just do a bit of cleaning and then cover them. Okay, that's all. Anyone? Yeah, please.
I really like the last question. Which we were not able to answer is like, how can we contribute to the course?
Okay.
No, I think
if you really liked
to you,
it,
Alexey.
Do you do? Sure. Okay, I need to think about it. But the best way to contribute is to take notes and provide them, include them to the notes section. And yeah, tell your friends about that. Right? So put it as a part of your learning in public. Spread the word. It will help us. And don't forget to give us a star if you haven't. So that's it, I guess. Thanks everyone for being on this call today. Yeah, Victoria?
Yeah, check the frequently asked questions. I've been checking the later questions and a lot of those go there. And before posting, usually your question, I'm pretty sure 80% of the time will be there. And we could add some of those. They're really good questions, so we can add some of those to the frequently asked questions as well from today that we didn't get to answer.
Okay, that's a very good idea. Thank you. Okay, we should be wrapping up. So thanks to the 600 people who are still with us. 300 decided to end this earlier, but yeah, I hope to see everyone working on homework. On the first homework, we will announce it soon. And yeah, have fun, enjoy the course. You will learn a lot. Sometimes it will be difficult, but stay with us and you will not regret it. Okay. So
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
See you.
Thanks, everyone.